Sitting on the park bench, eyeing little girls with badness and skill. Hey, Aqualung, drying in the cold sun, watching as the pretty Peggy.
Monopoly is undeniably the most popular board game ever. Since its inception in 1935, hundreds of millions of people have played it. With those kind of numbers, it only makes sense to have a video game incarnation of it, right? Well, let's take a look at how it plays on the NES. Gameplay-wise, it's a very accurate translation of the board game. You move your token around the board, buy properties, and build up houses and hotels with the game's play money. Every single time you break this game out, someone is liable to say something along the lines of, "Gee, I wish this money was real." It's pretty much a given. Personally, I'd rather have all the money from the game of life. Those come in much higher increments. But back to the game here. Everything else is there too. Railroads, community chest, enchant spaces, free parking, taxes, utilities, houses and hotels, and of course the jail. To spice things up, they throw in some cartoons that represent the events of whatever space you land on. A shower of money cascades down from landing on Go, cash registers eat up dollar bills during transactions, and when you get out of jail, the Monopoly man, Rich Uncle Pennybags, gets kicked to the curb. It's pretty funny. Also, the chance and community chest cards have been given a little animation for eye candy. The object of the game, of course, is to make everyone else bankrupt and own everything, hence the term Monopoly. Just like in the game, you can play 2 to 8 players with any of them as human or computer. You can even toggle whether they're human or computer in the middle of the game. There are a good chunk of options for customizing your game. You can set the amount of cash to whatever you want for each player. Let's see how high it'll go. Damn, more than I would have expected. Holy shit. Wow, $99,999. Is there any way you could lose if you start out with that much? Now, let's go the other way with it. Damn, you can start right out on the verge of bankruptcy. You can also assign properties, houses, and hotels. And there's also a weird feature called Load a Prepared Game where 8 preset games will be assigned. You can't really tell what they mean. The title of each of these prepared games may give you an indication, but you have to look through the stats to see all the details. If there's one thing Monopoly is famous for, it's the amount of time it takes to complete a game. Even with 2 or 3 people, it can still take a while, and if you have up to 8 players, forget it, the end is nowhere in sight. So you have the option of setting a time limit between 15 minutes and 5 hours, and whoever has the most value at the end of the limit is the winner. All these options gives this game a little bit of depth and some replay value if you want to manipulate the game and go wild. But there's one option they completely slipped on, and that's the ability to use the free parking space as a lottery for collecting all the money taken in from chance and community chest. I know it's an unofficial rule, technically free parking is just a free space, but if you can start with practically $100,000, give yourself whatever properties you want and set a time limit, then you should be able to utilize free parking as a lottery space. Most people that play the game use it for this purpose, so why not? So the gameplay is pretty identical to the actual Monopoly game for the most part, but the question is it worth buying the cartridge as opposed to the board game? Well, it's a lot more worth it now than it was when it came out, since you can get it for roughly $5 as opposed to in 1991 when it was being sold for, I'm guessing, 40 or 50. It definitely goes by a lot faster than the board game, and you don't have to go through all the bullshit of setting everything up or misplacing pieces or anything like that. But there's just something missing from playing the game virtually. Physically rolling the dice and moving your token around and all that just has a more genuine feel to it. All in all, if you enjoy the game of Monopoly, then this is a fun game to pop in every now and again, especially multiplayer. But there's also the advantage of playing multiple computer opponents, which you can't do by yourself. So that wraps up this edition of Aqualung's Game Reviews. See you next time.